Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Shanus, and as you can tell behind me, I am at Casa de Subilu, and I'm really excited because the weather has finally calmed down a bit. It's nice and cool, and it's always nice to have cool temperatures when working on the car. But today, let's jump straight into our project. So for those of you guys that didn't watch the Halloween announcement video, you guys didn't get the sneak peek, but today, to some people's dismay, we are installing these bad boys that Lasfit sent over. And the reason why I'm excited about this is that I reviewed a product back in the old days for you OGs. It was a product that was actually really popular, especially for fog light bulbs. And I get asked questions till this day about it. Unfortunately, the company that created the product back then has now discontinued the said SKU. But fortunately, Lasfit to the rescue, because it seems like Lasfit makes a version of this particular product, and they were kind enough to send it over to us to check out. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. That way you guys can see, especially for those of you that were interested in this. Now, Lasfit does create a quality product, so I will give you the first disclaimer that the price on these is a little more expensive than the original product I reviewed years ago. However, you get what you pay for. This is a really cool feature to have, and the quality speaks for itself. But don't take my word for it, let me show you exactly what you got. Alright, so we're inside the trunk because my car is dirty, so I don't want to use that as a backdrop. But real quick, the question I know I'm going to get is, so Shanus, what's in the box? And right away, you can see the presentation's really nice. We have Switchback, so for those of you guys that don't know, there's your dead giveaway in sort of speaking. But the nice thing is, once you open the box, besides getting your instruction manuals and an invitation to Lasfit's Elite Club, they now also give you 3 stickers in different color forms. I think that's cool because some of you guys like white, some of you guys like black, but now you also get red. But I digress, let's open the box. So once you open the box, you can see the presentation's nice. The bulbs are well protected. Here's the decoder right here. And then you have the braided cables, again, just to speak for their quality and show, obviously. And the bulbs right here with the uniqueness of it, and let me pull one out, is the switchback possibility. So the lighting's kind of messing things up for me, but you can clearly see that there's 2 sets of chips for LEDs. One, which you'll see, is your white, and then the switchback ability is that once you turn that off and back on within 3 seconds, you get your amberish yellow, which ends up being much more effective in the fog as far as visibility goes. So with that being said and showing you, and oh, there we go, look, you can see the 2 color chips right there. We're gonna go ahead and install these bad boys. Oh, actually, real quick before we get the install, so in case it's disconnected, you connect this to this. There's a little, yeah, see, there's a little hole insert right there. This one right here has a similar nub that connects into that. But once connected, it looks like this, and then you basically slide this little lock. So I do like that because, again, it makes these pretty much waterproof. And so voila, you have that nice and sealed. But the other thing that I wanted to mention is that the decoder is actually really compact. So I don't know if you guys that stuck around remember the last video with my last switchbacks, but the other brand companies had a really thick decoder, and with thick decoders, obviously you have added weight, so that makes it a pain. This is a nice, I want to say it's aluminum because it's really light. So I really like the compactness of this. We are going to add double-sided sticky tape to make sure we stick it to the inner part of the bumper. But I also like how they have this little tab here where essentially you can screw this or mount it to a ground point, so that way it doesn't move around, especially if you're using this for something else besides fog lights. So kudos to Lasfit for thinking of the adaptability. Hey, one other thing I kind of discovered, which I was looking at the build quality of this, is on this end, you see that little screw? Well, it looks like there's other points for it. Unfortunately, I'm not really going to take it apart because I don't want to mess with it, but it does look like you can potentially remove that screw and adjust where the actual bulb has its light output at by rotating it. And then clearly after you rotate it, you could put the screw in like right here at the new slot or on this end. Again, just to get the best light projection. I think that's cool. Also for build quality, you can see the built-in fan. And this whole chassis is nice and lightweight. Here's the heatsink and then the added fan, obviously, to dissipate heat. So let's get these bad boys in. So we're down here. I'm not going to show you how to install these because you should hopefully know by now by watching the videos, but we've been doing this so often that we literally just pull this fender lining flap, and as you can see right now it's missing the bulb, but Subilu's putting his hand in there. So it's literally as easy as making sure that the nubs align and then they lock in. So right now we're missing a bulb. We're going to put in the new switchback, but we are going to show you a comparison because I also currently have Lasfit just single color LED fogs. So we're going to compare to see the brightness difference between one that's just one color as opposed to the switchbacks. So I'm back here in the hatch again just to show you guys the difference in the bulb. So the bulb itself, the chassis and everything are very identical. The largest difference is the added decoder because it requires it for the switchback ability. So these just singular colors are also Lasfit, and these are just plug and play. The switchbacks are also plug and play, but like I said, you just have to figure out a place to mount this so it's not rattling around. Alright, lastly, using the wall right here, you can see the difference. So this specific one right here was just single color as opposed to this switchback right here. So this technically has more ground because it's got a larger chipset, but we'll see the difference in luminosity right now, or the output basically. So first and foremost, forgive me, my car is filthy and it's black, so it shows up even more. But one thing that we're noticing is, so this is the Lasfit fog light bulb. They're more economical series, so it's more affordable. This one I believe runs from 45 to 50 bucks depending on if you find it on sale on Amazon. But on the other side is the switchback version, and check this out. This is daytime, and I don't know if you can tell through the video footage, but this one is actually brighter. And I know I mentioned that these bulbs themselves are more expensive. They're about 90 bucks, but clearly you could see that you get what you pay for. Even though the other one is single color and it's meant just to focus on that, you can tell that the chipset on these are a lot brighter, and it's more focused. I'm being blinded just looking at it. I'm really impressed. I'm gonna have Lou right now demonstrate the switchback functionality just so you guys could see. But here I'm just scoping out. So even in this take, this side right here is clearly brighter. But you turn them on, off, and there you go. So this one, again, you within 3 seconds switch off and then switch back on. So now you have the yellow amberish, and you have the white one still here because this one doesn't switch back, but this one does. One thing I do want to mention as opposed to my last bulbs is that these ones do appear to have a more yellowish tint as opposed to the last ones that we had from the other company. The other company had more of an amberish yellow. Now, I will just be very clear. If you can't tell in the video, these are not a ultra bright hyper yellow. So for those of you that are expecting a very hyper yellow like those from an HID bulb, you're not getting that. If you can't tell, like I said, they're more of a darker, maybe light amberish yellow, very similar to a normal traditional bulb like the halogen here. There we go. So here you can kind of see that it's more of a dark yellow, kind of borderline amberish. This is the backsplash of it over here on the side. But again, the darker will actually do its job at penetrating fog. And again, keep in mind, these are fog bulbs, so that's exactly what you want it to do. You want it to help out your visibility. If you're going for style, then I suppose you can just go with an HID. But these, for an actual useful purpose, are amazing. And obviously, when you turn them on, by default, it'll always be white. So you'll have the white ones on for your style. And then once it starts getting rainy or foggy, you switch them over to this yellow color. And this side's on now. So as you can see, we have both on the switchback, and they're working functionally. So now let's fast forward to nighttime shots so that way you guys can see the difference it makes and what that looks like. Alright guys, so real quick, I was trying to record on a flat like surface. So these are actually the headlights that I have on the car. I'm using the iPhone to record, so sorry about the audio quality, but I do have the fog lights off currently. I'm about to turn them on, and basically they're going to go on to their normal white bulb functionality, and then I'll show you guys the switchback functionality, but just to show you the difference that it makes in brightness having the fog lights on. So So immediately you get a lower level. And again, I'm kind of close to the wall, so you can't really tell. But let me turn them off, so hopefully you'll be able to. Let me turn them off, so hopefully you'll be able to see the difference on the passenger side. So you saw that it makes quite a difference. Now turning them back on. So we went back to white, and the reason why it's white again is because there was actually a delay. It was more than 3 seconds between intervals. So in order to do switchbacks, you actually have to turn them on and off within a 3-second countdown. So let's do that right now. And there you go. So there is the amber yellow. And I'm gonna get out of the car right now just to kind of show you guys the difference of luminosity at night. Because right here, you can kind of tell it's not a hyper yellow. It's more of an amberish yellow, but if I'm honest with you guys, this is actually more of an effective hue or more of an effective shade of color when it actually comes to your fog. Especially, you know, for fog lights, it's more functional this way, because a hyper yellow would probably have a more higher tendency to reflect back against you. So I'm gonna do the switchback again to white, and we're gonna go out there so you can see them real quick. All right, so we're back outside, and you can obviously hear cars and a little bit of traffic, so forgive me for that, but I'm gonna turn them on. So there you see the difference that they make against the wall. I'm gonna show you up close and personal. So this is how bright they shine. They're pretty white, and I do like the fact that the particular shade of white does match the accent lighting and the headlights. It's not a cool white, I would say, so it doesn't really have a blue tint, which I prefer because, once again, it kind of goes with the Veloster's current stock lighting. So we'll show you the other side. Hey, I'm a deer in headlights. But I'm gonna switch it now, so I'm gonna walk back here, and we're gonna switch off to, so now we have the amber, or yellow, I'm sorry, but as you can see, on the video it looks really yellow, and it actually is, but it's not that blinding as the video shows. You can actually kind of look at it and not have a really hard time looking at the bulb. So showing you right here, this is kind of what it looks like. And I'm gonna go on this side. Again, you can already see on the concrete the splash of yellow, and of course here. So right here on this video take, you can definitely see the slight more amberish tone of yellow. But again, you're not really gonna dislike this because it's functional. I know some of you guys might be looking for a hyper yellow, which is usually what you get when you use HIDs in that color, and that's fine. But again, for LEDs, these are amazing. I love the switchback functionality. I love the fact that the shades match the Veloster, and I love the fact that the yellow is, like I mentioned before, functional. Checking it out one last time, and then we're just gonna, and there you go, back to white, as you can see. All right, guys, so bear with me. I'm coming onto that street that normally I always record my like light footage on. It's early. I just got off of work, so there's a lot of traffic, and I'm counting on my iPhone to stabilize. But as you can see, we're on the road now, and I'm gonna turn off the fog lights just so you can see the difference it makes on the road. So immediately you saw a chunk just cut out from the bottom. I'll turn them back on, and we have more visibility, and then here's when they're in the yellow. So just as bright, just obviously tinted. Really good to see. You can see the reflective signs up ahead. Definitely receiving it. Hey guys, lastly, I actually wanted to do kind of showing you guys a difference in these shades of color, because I know I keep on saying that it's an amber yellow, but I want you guys to understand that it's not really amber. So I'm going to show you guys what it's like against halogen yellow bulbs, because it's very similar to that, and then obviously what they're like compared to the turn signal. So give me a second. I'm on the normal white, so let me switch them on and off real quick. Alright, so right here you guys can see that, and I'm actually going to turn on my high beams to show you guys the color difference. Okay, so you notice how the high beams are a little more yellow, and unfortunately the fog lights turn off with high beams, but alright, so right here you guys, you can clearly see my high beams, and then here's the yellow fogs. So again, I'm going to show you the yellow fogs, and then we're going to go to high beams real quick and see they're basically the exact same shade. So believe me when I say they are comparable to your standard yellow like halogen bulbs. It is not really an amber. And just to show you one last time, so right now we have the fogs, and as you can see, these are the actual turn signals. I have them on hazards, and I'm going to show you the front end just so you guys can see what I mean. So there's clearly a distinction in color between the yellow of the fog lights and the turn signals themselves. So guys, hopefully this gives you some insight into the shading of the colors and obviously the quality of this. Myself, I'm personally really impressed with the way they turned out, and I love how easy it is just to switch back on and off between the typical just white and then your yellow, which will help you out for foggy situations. As always guys, thanks for everything. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all the love and support, and I will see you guys in the next video, which is a very interesting one, so stay tuned. Bye. Alright, so here's a sneak peek. This is the end of the video. I mentioned I was looking at shades of color, so I'm just going to show you guys what I've been looking at. Forgive us for the dirty black trunk of the Camaro, but and I don't know if these colors are going to show up the way I see them on camera, but again, tons of shades of red, mainly, with a few variations. But I think I finally made up my mind. I'm not telling you guys what I'm gonna choose because it's got to be somewhat of a surprise, but what do you guys think?